How sweet it is. How sweet it is. Throw on some Naughty by Nature hip-hop hooray. Maybe tease your hair a little bit. Maybe toss on a Bum Equipment t-shirt, because we're partying like it's 1993. For the first time since then, the Angelos family is out in Baltimore. Hey, before we go any further, remember to subscribe to this channel. Click on the subscribe button below. I appreciate it. Thank goodness. I feel like an elephant has been lifted off my shoulders. The reign of terror is finally over as the Angelos family will finally sell the Baltimore Orioles. And thank goodness, because the timing couldn't be better. Right now, the Baltimore Orioles are sitting on one of the best nucleuses, if not the best, of young talent in all of baseball. And the only thing that could have ruined the best season the Orioles have had by wins since 1979, the only dark cloud that could float overhead of such an amazingly inspirational year and summer at Camden Yards, is the prospect that it's all fleeting. Because the cheap as all get out Angelos family is not going to spend a dime re-upping any of these awesome stars. But now our long Inner Harbor nightmare is over, because these new cats that are buying the team, they're coming from billions of dollars, and I'm sorry, you're not going to plunk down that much cash for a brand new organization, be from the city of Baltimore, have all of this great young talent on the roster, and not want to keep the good times rolling or max out on the good times that you're inheriting. So this couldn't happen at a better time. For Adley Rutschman, for Gunnar Henderson, for the rest of those guys inside the Orioles clubhouse, we finally have hope that they're going to remain an Oriole. So why do I care? Why does a New Yorker that grew up as a hardcore Mets fan care about the Orioles? I care because Baltimore happens to be one of our best baseball towns in the country. Look, I talk sports for a living. I've done this on the air in some capacity every day for more than 20 years. And I know where the football towns are, almost everywhere, and the baseball towns are, few and far between. Now, Baltimore is an amazing football town. We saw what the crowd was for the AFC Championship game for the Ravens, even though Baltimore lost. But in terms of true baseball love, passionate, knowledgeable sports towns that really love baseball, there's not many of them, and Baltimore is one of them. You know, once upon a time, the Oriole way was the barometer in baseball. The way the Orioles did things from the late 60s through the early 80s was seen as revolutionary in many corners of baseball. Smarter, savvier, more professional. The Oriole way meant something. And you have a generation, 2 generations maybe, of Orioles fans that don't know that. They know dysfunction. They know bickering. They know trying to save a dollar, save a penny, being at war with the fan base in the city. They don't know what it was like when the Orioles were the top dog for many years. They deserve that, because Camden Yards is a jewel of a ballpark. No matter where you come from, no matter what your home ballpark is, everybody unanimously across the country knows that Camden Yards is either their favorite ballpark or their second favorite ballpark behind their home field. Rosie the cat, very excited about the Orioles sale as well. All right, Rosie. Okay, all right. Thank you. It was always criminal to see empty seats at Camden Yards, because that apathy isn't inherent. It's not organic or natural. That only happens after years upon years of ownership spitting in the eye of the fans. I've been to Camden Yards. I love an experience there. But more than that, I love Orioles fans, because they're real, they're down to earth, they're knowledgeable, they love their team, and they've been battered. They've been battered in an abusive relationship for a long time, and they've been hoping, wishing, praying that it would change at some point. Well, boys and girls, it's changed. Once upon a time, when Peter Angelos actually bought this team back in 1993, he did spend money. But if you go back to the 90s, the Orioles were right there with the Yankees in terms of spending each and every year. They were a power broker. You can do it in Baltimore. It's not supposed to be a small market team. Don't remind me of the Jeffrey Mayer game. The idea that the Orioles had to operate everything on the cheap in recent years was so ludicrous. And the biggest problem has been Peter Angelos' son, John. I mean, what a twit. This is a guy who was tone deaf in everything he said. In the middle of an absolutely thrilling season in Baltimore, he decides to drop the hammer on potential relocation because he can't get a lease deal done with the city. Let's not forget the suspension of Kevin Brown, a team broadcaster. Again, in the middle of an absolutely thrilling historic season, why not just put a black eye on your own team, your own organization, make fans wonder, what are we even doing here, and create a firestorm with the national media that wasn't talking Orioles baseball, but now had to in the worst fashion ever. An announcer that got suspended for reading a graphic, and the graphic wasn't graphic. The Orioles haven't been good against the Rays. No big mystery here. It was all handled so poorly. That situation plus a million others. The Angelos family at war over their cable network, over carrying Orioles games on TV. Always lamenting the state of economics in baseball. Oh, how can we possibly compete, especially with a division with the Yankees and the Red Sox? Never mind that the Rays have been in multiple World Series. And to even suggest moving the Orioles, and perhaps trying to do a runaround to get them down to Nashville where you own a home was the lowest of the low by John Angelos. O's fans didn't deserve that. Baseball as a sport deserved better, and we're finally getting it. That is a city that is just bubbling with Orioles fandom, waiting to pop if you just give them something to root for, and you stop taking from the heart of the fan. Man, I've seen it with my own two eyes. It's a city that wants to love the Orioles, but the Angelos family's given them so few reasons to do so. Finally, the nightmare is over. The team's being sold. They're going to spend some money. You don't have to go to the ballpark worrying that you're actually supporting the Angelos family. I know they've got partial ownership for a while, but still. The soul of Baltimore is baseball. Heck, Babe Ruth grew up there. The warehouse, the Ken Griffey Jr. moonshot of the home run derby, Cal freaking Ripken Jr. You got to take care of something like this. You got to give it some nurturing. You got to put some energy and some money into it so that it can flourish and grow and live and thrive. And the Angelos family, specifically John, was never going to do that. Ever. So pry it out of his cold hands and give it to somebody who's going to give it some watering. Yes! Yes! Thank goodness. And cheers to new owners. Hey, once again, you guys are amazing in the comments section. First 20 comments, I will respond to, I promise. Also, hit that subscribe button under here for more videos like this. Now that the O's have done it, maybe the A's can do the same thing. You can click on this button right here as well to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I'm DA, Damon Amendolara. We'll see you next time.